Sorry. We're recording.
Ralph, don't get hit when he starts waving his arms.
Oh, my finger.
Was that Pat?
My finger.
For the record, I wanted to have a song, and they shot me down, and they can't even do it right.
That was so anticlimactic.
Hang on.
This is ridiculous.
Wah, wah, wah.
One more time.
This is a redo.
What a fucking abortion this is. There it is. GloucesterCast 361. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people here today.
Jesus.
Post-storm.
Oh, wasn't that amazing?
First northeaster of the season.
Yeah. But what was amazing about it, I thought, was how it just swirled around and around and just kept going for like 3 days, right?
It wasn't moving off.
I've never gotten blown so hard when I was standing out on the back shore. It was freaking crazy. No, I'm
some
saying,
heavy winds.
Even my hair was blown.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
Why did I come back?
We're up to 11 views.
Oh, really?
So thank you, Ralph. And speaking of that, Susan Lipshit says...
Lipshit?
Susan Lipshit's here.
He's coming.
I'm sorry, Susan. I'm only watching because Ralph is back.
Hey, Sue, love you.
Hey, Sue, my French bulldog has cherry eye, which I guess is...
What's cherry eye?
It's like the gland, the tear gland in the corner of their eye.
Yeah.
It like pops out. So it looks like almost like a pigsty. And they say that it tends to treat itself and it goes back into the spot that it's supposed to be.
Can you put warm compresses on him?
I don't know. Of course, we brought him to the...
He says that because he's too cheap to take the dog to the vet.
No, I don't care to bring the dog to the vet now because I have insurance on this dog.
You don't have to pee, you don't pee on it or anything?
Oh, you know what? I should try that.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
I would just
On the hygienic habits that we all saw on the blog, is that how we got it?
Oh, maybe,
What
yeah.
he's been
Probably
doing that we've all been
sniffing
watching
around
on the
here,
video?
sniffing in this office.
Chris, she is saying, just take the dog to the vet.
Yeah.
I did. No, I already did.
And,
I took him to the vet.
And also, nobody touch your eyes.
Ralph, good to see you.
No, it's nice to see you.
But put on. I would try warm compress.
No, they gave us
Andy
eye
Wicks.
medication.
Medication.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, believe it or not, we already have an appointment scheduled for a dog ophthalmologist.
Oh my goodness.
So that would be cheap, right?
Cheap, right?
Yeah.
Will your insurance cover that?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
either that or Playa del Carmen, 50 pick.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, big news. Speaking of Bo had his package cut off.
The Bina, no
Wednesday.
more Bina?
No more Bina.
Well, they still.
Bob Barker would be very pleased.
They still have.
And Drew
it,
Carey.
right?
No.
They still have what?
He had his cannolis.
Oh.
Like I
There's
could see him
all
growing.
you got left is the beans, but not the Frank. No,
No.
they take the Frank, but not the beans, right?
No,
No,
they don't
took
take the
beans.
Frank.
They took the beans.
You gotta take the beans.
Yeah, you leave the Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
You
said.
said take the Frank and leave the beans.
Oh, I had it wrong.
Jesus.
You know what
Joe.
that would look like?
Yeah,
It'll be a little strange.
Joe. He pee out of his mouth.
As it is, the dog treats himself like some kind of farm animal. As it is, and it's embarrassing. Then he posted on Facebook.
Not me.
Who did that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Introduce your guest before we, go.
All right, let's get around the room. Go ahead.
Good morning, Joe, and happy birthday to Joe and Jim.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Hey,
Jimmy
Jim's
Dalpias.
birthday. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
All right, hold on.
Jimmy.
This is what 64 looks like, folks.
That's
Deal
us.
with it.
Oh God,
Yeah, I
we're
know.
in trouble.
We have a little something special. We have a little something special planned for you.
This lovely lady is not only opportunist but punctual. Mr. President, Marilyn Monroe.
Jimmy Dalpias. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Here we go.
A woman about whom
Our audio department is spot on today.
That's why we paid the big
All right,
bucks.
here it is.
Big money.
I could have sang happy birthday in 4 languages.
Wow. Well, hang on, she's smoking a cigar.
Well, now Jim's 65.
Yes.
Here we go.
Kim, you're supposed to be standing up right now in front of the camera.
Come on, Kim.
The viewers will go right down.
Jimmy W.
Jim.
There you go, Jimmy.
You have a birthday
There you
cake
go,
for
Jimmy. You gotta do
Make sure
the
you get a good
shot.
camera shot of that.
And Pat's away.
You got.
Watch out, Pat.
You gotta do the shot.
I couldn't find a candle at home, so that was the next best
Hey,
thing.
that's for you.
Let's go.
There it is.
Put it down, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, before you eat that, I just want to say that I gave that to Chris for his birthday. When was your birthday? 8 months ago?
Yeah.
So it might be a little stale.
Lick it.
I thought you meant the nip. I'm like, no
I got
way.
it.
No way that lasted that long in his eyes.
Kim Reynolds Reed says, I'm not sure why I'm watching, but I can't look away.
Ah, that's my girl, Kim.
Lick away.
Train
Morning,
wreck.
Kim.
All right. Happy birthday, Jim. For real.
Thank you, guys.
Who
For
else
real.
is? Who else is here?
This is Ralph DiGiorgio. How do you not know who I am?
Zach Sears, Minglewood, Harborside.
John Nelson. Here to promote my book
Author.
about birds, flight calls.
Flight calls. There you go.
Lick off.
Nicole Schraft.
Representing.
The Schraft family.
Her children.
What is there?
I'm convinced that Nicole is gonna write a book, and it's gonna be a very relatable book.
Yeah.
About because she is the okay. You know how there's the recipe people that write about their recipes, but they tell you about the backstory about their families.
Yes, yeah.
But they're excellent cooks and stuff.
Right.
I feel like she's an excellent mother, but she gives like great stories,
Yes, she does.
the pros and cons of motherhood, and
Yeah.
like I think people would be interested in that book.
I think you would have a huge.
Absolutely.
Huge following. People are obsessed with your children.
Yeah.
As he does his shot over here. Absolutely, he says while he's downing his shot.
Jim is licking.
Yeah, maybe someday.
something over there.
All right.
Oh,
Glenn.
say hello.
How you doing? Glenn Hamilton from Harpersville, New York.
Glenn Hamilton. He also did. He stars in the play on Broadway.
Yes.
Hamilton.
In Hamilton.
Hamilton.
And Glenn's the only New Yorker that is a Patriots fan, a Red Sox fan, a Bruins fan, and what else?
Boston Lobsters.
And Boston
Boston
Lobsters.
Lobsters.
I hate to tell you, but Rangers, Knicks, Yankees.
Anyway, moving on.
Sorry.
Getting
Yes.
Jimmed up. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm wiping the shot off my chin.
Did you drink it? Really?
I'm not saying I did.
Do you have something to hide, Jimmy?
What does that sound?
And who else do we have here?
Good morning, Gloucester. It's Kim Smith.
Kim Smith is with us. We got a couple more people from Holdfast coming in right now.
Oh, okay.
They make a big splash when they come in.
Okay.
What's hold?
But we're gonna get to,
Holdfast.
we're gonna get we're gonna find out.
Oh, okay.
We got a million topics and a million people.
But we'll get to Zach first because Zach has his business to take care of.
Go.
So Zach, we have some announcements. New menu at Minglewood Harborside.
Yes.
Here it is.
So we're just coming off of our busiest summer that we've had in 12 years.
Nice.
Wow.
My staff is awesome. It made it very easy for me.
Just
I surround myself with some awesome people. So shout out to them for all their hard work this year. And we're rolling into our fall menu. We just on Friday. We also want to talk about that front room. Everyone wants to know about the front room. It is all ready to go. We are booking all functions out of there. Rehearsal dinners. I booked a fantasy football draft about a month ago.
Wow.
You know, anything that anybody wants for a private room, that's the space for it. It seats up to 54 for a sit-down dinner. If you want to just have like a hangout party, cocktails, appetizers, I can make enough room for about 100. So
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
I think our 400th episode, Joe, we should rent that place out.
I see something on here that I really like.
That's a great.
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, yeah.
Is it fried
That's
chicken?
good comfort
It
food
is.
right there,
Everybody
baby.
loves that.
Yeah, we put it on and it's a good fall dish. It's nice and it warms you right up. It's a little bit of cayenne, the maple syrup. Just got a little tiny kick at the end. And we've been running it on special for the last couple of weeks. And
Do
got rave
you sell
reviews.
fried chicken? Just fried chicken?
We have the chicken and waffles. We also have the chicken sandwich. It's very similar to the chicken and waffles. It has a little bit of Cajun in that one.
I wish somebody around here would do a fried chicken dinner.
Short and Pretentious does it.
Short and, they do it. They do it every Thursday, but then they don't always do it. So
This
we need
is-
someone to do a fried chicken dinner.
We're going to be on the
I'm
air
just
for an
ignoring-
hour, so
I'm
you have plenty of time to go get a
ignoring
few
that.
orders
Yeah,
of chicken
there you
and
go.
waffles and bring them
The
back.
kitchen opens at 11:30, so we'll see how we do.
I was there last night and had
Can I see
sushi.
the menu wrap?
Sushi is always outstanding. My go-to place whenever I'm in the mood for some good sushi. Right.
Zach, are you having any special nights?
Yeah.
Like food specials on certain nights?
Yeah, so now that we're entering into our into the off season, our hours have changed. So we are not open lunch Monday through Thursday. We open at 4 o'clock, and on the weekends we're open 11:30 till close. And every day of the week we have something different going on. So Sundays starting today, kids eat free on Sundays, and we're going to do half price
Kids eat
apps
free.
during the football game. And then on Monday we do buy 2 sushi rolls, get 1 free.
Oh.
We also do Monday Night Jam at 8 o'clock, which is awesome. Dennis Mogul hosts that. He brings some amazing local musicians in, and they rock it till about 11 o'clock.
Oh, that's Mondays?
Monday nights, yep. Tuesdays, we're still doing the trivia and 50-cent wings, and that's a lot of fun. We just installed some new speakers in the back, so now everybody in the whole entire room can really hear trivia. It was kind of hard at first to hear them in the back. We just installed.
And your place is actually known as that's the premier trivia night in Gloucester. Is at Minglewood Harborside.
Yeah, Kate does a great job from Stump Trivia. She's awesome. She's been with us for 8 years now,
Yeah.
so she's been doing a great job. And now that we've expanded to the bigger size room, it's really filling right up with everyone that wants to play trivia. So that's awesome. Starting last Wednesday, we just started karaoke night, and I mean it was awesome. It was packed. We're gonna do a contest.
So can you give me give me. Are there some? You know how you watch? What is it? America's no. What's the one with the singing contest? And they always throw
American
in a
Idol.
couple. American Idol. They always throw in a couple really really horrible ones.
Oh yeah,
And but they're the
auditions
most
and the
entertaining ones. A lot. Of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Is it all? Do you have some like really good singers that
Well,
come?
it was star-studded this past week. It was awesome. Everybody that performed were awesome. And what we're gonna do is starting this week we're gonna start a contest. It's gonna run for 6 or 7 weeks, and then we're gonna kind of pick a winner every week. And at the end of the 7 weeks, we're bringing in a live band, and then we're gonna have an actual live band karaoke night.
Wow.
Basically, like every 6 weeks, and then it'll reset every 6 weeks. So that's gonna be really fun. And then
That's cool.
Thursdays we have acoustic night with Mike Forget. Mike Forget is an amazing musician from Gloucester. He plays with
who
Open
he is.
Bridge.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
he
mean,
goes on-
everybody knows who Mike Forget is.
He's awesome. So that's his night. He books he brings his own friends. Sometimes he just plays alone. Sometimes he grabs people from the bar that he knows are musicians that want to play a song. It's awesome. We play 7 to 10 on Thursdays, and then Friday and Saturday we have awesome local musicians playing.
That's cool.
Unbelievable.
Very cool.
The wings there are great. Wait, okay, here's a
just
couple.
looking at
Here's a
everything.
couple. I'm gonna go through my go-to things, and you tell me if they're still on the menu. or
Okay.
not. The buffalo cauliflower.
Yes.
Oh yeah, outstanding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's not going anywhere.
I love that. Has everybody had the buffalo cauliflower at Minglewood Harborside?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
had
Okay,
that.
if you haven't had it,
Is that the roasted cauliflower? Is that the same thing?
No,
No.
we actually have 2 different kinds. We have the buffalo that you're talking
Oh, I
about,
see.
and then we
Okay,
have the
there it
roasted.
is.
It's more like a
Okay.
sharing platter.
Okay.
it is so good.
It doesn't make
Well,
your pee smell either.
I love how you serve. I love how you serve your calamari with the fried cherry peppers and the
Oh, yeah.
cauliflower sauce. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's
You can't go wrong.
outstanding.
Joey Kate says best nachos in town.
That's my wife.
Kate says that. Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah,
If
you
you
gotta-
live in Cape Ann and you don't have a Serenity card, the
You're
rewards
dumb.
card,
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
Yep.
So
I got mine.
the app, I have it right on my phone now. Gave him my number last night. Got
Jimmy, do you have
660 points?
Jimmy, did you get your free birthday meal?
No, not yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, free birthday meal too.
And during your birthday month,
Yeah.
you don't even have to go on your birthday.
Well, when Pat comes back, I'm sure that we'll make a trip to go down because her birthday meal we did already.
Yeah, you can you have to hate money to not get a Serenity
Did you
loyalty
tell us
club.
what
I
the
do hate
hours
money.
were?
It's very dirty.
Did you already say that? Like, what time does the kitchen close?
So on the weekdays we're open Monday through Thursday from 4 till 9.
Till it closes at 9.
Yep, and then on the weekends we're open 11:30 in the morning till 10 at night.
Okay.
Is Thursday considered a weekend?
Thursday is not considered.
Friday's a weekend?
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
I got you.
Okay.
There you go.
He was
Also,
serious
in
with
the
that
Serenity Rewards literally takes like a minute to sign up for. So I do get people like, oh, I don't really want to spend the time to do it. It's foolish to not do it. It literally takes less than a minute to sign your name and email address. And they get so many free things out of it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's outrageous.
You literally get a free entree just for signing up. And then if you put your birthday on, then you get an entree and a dessert. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What if you have 364 birthdays?
Fed well.
What if your birthday's on leap year? Then you get screwed.
No, because it's the whole birthday month. You can
whole birthday
Yeah,
month.
you have the 2 weeks prior and the 2 weeks after. So
to utilize it.
That's right. So no excuse for those of you who are born on leap
Well, I
year.
haven't tried this. The maple bacon Brussels sprouts. That
Yep.
sounds
I
really
can't. We're not putting in orders right now. We're just,
Joey, for the 300 people at home who are trying to download the app like I am right now, right? You said you have it on your phone. What? Serenity. Am I spelling Serenity wrong?
EE. Serenity. It's a EE.
Yeah, sorry, that's my accent.
Serenity.
I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But I don't.
It's good for all the Serenity restaurants too. So
There's Cala's, there's Opus.
So there's Cala's in Manchester. There is 15 Walnut in Hamilton. Hale Street is in Beverly Farms. You get Maggie's Farm in Middleton. Opus in Salem. You get TWK in Winchester, and then you get the Spot in Georgetown.
Yeah, I've been to them all.
I haven't been to the Spot, and I haven't been to TWK.
I like the Spot.
Yeah.
Serious. If someone uses their card within a 1 year period on all of them,
it's not a bad idea.
At all of them, they should get like a free dessert.
Yeah. You should definitely check out the Spot.
Just
Joe,
saying.
you should check out the Spot though. Last winter,
Spot's very good.
When we closed the restaurant to renovate, most of myself and my staff went to the Spot and worked there all last winter, and they do a great job.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check it out. Road trip.
And the amazing thing is the difference between the menus. I mean, you're one big happy family.
Yeah.
But if you walked into any one of those restaurants, you would know that you're affiliated with.
Yeah, we all have our own little identity.
Yeah, your own. Yeah.
Did you used to have a Mexican restaurant too?
No.
What was the place in Ipswich there?
No, you're thinking of the farm guys. El Fuego.
Right.
They just closed. That I see. That's big. When I drove by the other night, it was closed.
Forger or something.
Really?
I don't know what happened.
So in Fuego.
In Fuego. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Zach, for coming on in. We appreciate it. Anything you want to add in?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
No, I'm psyched. I'm psyched you came too. And we'll put a link to the. We'll put a link in the show notes on where to. Absolutely, you'll be able to go and download the app free. You get a free entree. You get birthday, and throughout the year you'll get an email saying, "Hey, come in for a free appetizer. Come in for this." You know, it's a no-brainer.
And thank you for bringing back the chicken and waffles. I like the syrup on the side, please.
And Zach also brought in a dry cider too, a dry cider option, which I appreciate. I tried it last night. Yeah, I liked it.
What one was it?
City Roots.
City Roots, yeah.
Harpoon?
Yeah, out of Boston.
Yeah, I can't drink the sweet ones, but I like a dry.
Big sweet. I like this one. This one's dry. I like this one a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you. The girls from Holdfast are here.
Hi.
Holdfast.
Holdfast. Well, we didn't introduce you in the beginning, so why don't you introduce
They
yourself?
were late, Joe. They were late.
We thought it was nice.
It's the valet.
I'm Deb Berger.
Wayne's wife.
Wayne's wife.
Wayne's World.
Party on.
Deanna Faye.
And Deanna
Nice to see
Faye.
you, Al.
So tell us about Holdfast.
So Holdfast is it's a new venture for us, and it's a handcraft business. So we're sort of billing it as like for the conscientious consumer. So we make I brought you some samples.
Ooh.
We like samples.
We love samples.
Edible.
And we also brought you a belated birthday gift.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Joe.
start with that.
Well, but his birthday is not really for 2 weeks. Even though he wishes him a happy
Well,
birthday.
we started celebrating it last weekend, so I figured, I'm never on time
Kim,
anyway.
what's wrong with you?
So we make we make a few handcrafted items that are just like good for you and good for the environment. And one
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
It's a penis warmer.
You'd
Is it
be, well,
No.
Okay, no. Okay.
Extra
Oprah!
Yeah, extra small.
She had to think about it. That's what I want to know.
I mean, it is a wrap.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't think I'd do that.
So make are these beeswax wraps. Has anybody heard of them?
No.
So they're it's an alternative to plastic wrap, like saran wrap. You know, so like we're thinking about different ways to stop using plastic. So this is one way to do that, and they're like a wax infused cotton fabric.
And you can reuse them over and over again.
Yeah, they'll last about a year with proper care, and then when you're done with it, you just compost it.
Brilliant.
So you can wrap pretty much anything except for like raw meat or like.
Hence, so you can't use it as a penis warmer.
Yeah, you know, that's what gave me the pause, Joey. That's what gave me the pause. So we made a special edition barbecue delegation beeswax wraps, and you, James, and Craig are the 3 holders of these.
Wow.
And Craig has not used his.
Thank you so much.
But keep in mind, you can't wrap meat in.
These are awesome.
No,
Can you hold those up to the camera? Oh, I love your logo.
Yeah, you wrap a sandwich. You can wrap.
I love your logo.
Thank you.
Should we put that up too?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we gotta put that up.
So that's one of the things that we're making, and people are they're really popular. So we have them in 3 stores, and we're having a good time trying to keep up with them.
These are awesome. Wow.
How many bees are you killing to make those?
None. No bees were harmed in this process.
Okay, good.
But we are trying to outsource our beeswax from Beverly Bees to try to keep as much as we can local as possible. And they're infused with a combination of formula of beeswax wraps, jojoba oil, and a pine tar resin, which all 3 have antimicrobial qualities to them.
Oh,
so it's it's a safe.
It's not unsanitary. You know,
exactly.
to reuse them over and over again.
Yeah.
Rinse them with warm water.
Rinse them,
Just not hot.
And just like hang
hang to
throw
dry.
them over something to dry.
Yep.
Wow. These are so awesome.
So Deb uses those in her lunch every day. Wraps up sandwiches and snacks.
So where do you buy these?
You can buy them either at the Last Stop in Gloucester, the Cave in Gloucester, or Lula's Pantry in Rockport right now. Or you can buy them through us.
Or online.
Online. Yeah.
Is it holdfast.com?
No. It's Holdfast. Holdfasthandcrafts.com. Okay. That's our website.
Hold fast hand. I'm gonna put that in the show notes as well.
Wow, it's so exciting. I'm very excited about this because I'm always like writing things in wax paper because I don't want to use plastic, but I'm just like, this is so much nicer.
I probably would have a hard time getting used to them because I'm kind of a plastic whore. but you know, like I use them all the time. Like the large ones, you can wrap a whole baguette in them. And or a casserole dish.
I bet it's something Common Crow would want to carry eventually.
Yeah, they actually carry another brand.
Oh, okay. Well,
I did reach out to them.
Forget that. Well, forget that. We'll get ours at Last Stop.
These are handmade in Gloucester.
These are fantastic. These are good quality.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Those were special for you, all barbecue edition, and the lobster, of course.
So I'll show you some other things that we made. Can I come up?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know what you should do is go closer to the camera.
Oh, you're blocking me from the camera. Oh, my foot!
Oh, it crashed. These are some soaps.
God. Oh, soap
These
and a
are
rope.
soaps.
Soap
Here,
and a
I'll
rope.
pass them
That's
around.
for Ralph.
I'll start over there.
No ropes.
I like soap.
Kim, can you put? Yeah.
I'll hand them all.
And then Jimmy will put it in front of the camera.
Well, she has a bag full of
So we have
a
whole soap line that's just.
Now tell me about these soaps as opposed to commercial soap. What are the benefits of using this soap?
The benefits
Ooh,
are that it's a cleaner wash. There's no artificial any ingredients in there. There's no colorants. We use really high grade essential oils for the scented ones.
Oh my god, it smells so good.
Peppermint.
I think Kate.
Oh, this smells.
I think Kate would be very happy if I use this on my parts.
And then you can wrap it.
Then I can seal in all the goodness. Take a smell.
Off the rails again.
I was gonna say, well, what's in the jar is actually.
Rick, look. I mean,
yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were a
There you
hat
go. We
maker.
make hats.
It's Siamese. What, are those hats really?
No, they're
Chris, all you
baskets.
need is a little.
Oh, it's a
Make
basket.
a snake come out of
Oh,
them.
well, look
are
at
they
that.
made
I
out of?
like
These are
that.
these are made out of reclaimed boat rigging.
Well, that one is.
These two
Reclaimed what?
That was part.
partially. So the red
I
is
love that.
reclaimed boat rigging.
Oh,
I
these
want
are
that one. That's
That
awesome.
is very impressive.
these
Wow.
are ridiculous.
Oh,
The
I
quality on this is a really high end.
Thank you.
These are beautiful. These are really
Deb,
beautiful.
Deb makes the bowl. She does a great
You made
job.
that?
Yeah.
Is that seriously?
Seriously, I made
Chris,
that.
that would look good right there.
Let me
Damn,
see.
that's really
Black
cool.
is my
Thank you.
color.
Especially
There you go.
We can put some, Chris, we can put some potpourri in this.
See that?
You're
too,
looking
right
out
there?
diva-like.
So how much do I want to
You
know?
go
how
right
much
up to the
do-
camera
How much do
with
the two bowls go for?
Well, the reclaimed ones are a little bit more. They're in the $30 range.
Okay, that one's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the all white ones, the plain solid all white ones are like
He looks a little bit like
$12.
Bo when he did
that's
that.
very reasonable.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how you can sell it so cheap and make a profit.
I know.
Well, we'll see.
Are you?
It sounds so
This
cheap.
is
We
very
just
kind.
don't want to eat soup out
How
of
long
them.
does that take?
Yeah.
I've made many baskets before. I know how time consuming they are.
Doesn't it be great for keys? Right when you walk in your door,
Catch-all
be perfect.
basket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, catch all bad.
Joe, you could keep all your
Now you do this with the machine on.
Yeah.
Joe, you could keep all your
Starting it must be hot.
your
Yeah, it's a little,
marijuana
yeah, that's a
down
little
from
trying
down
at times,
here.
yeah.
I,
So we're going to be putting together a bunch of gift baskets for the holidays. So like
and
we'll have
and you
them
and I know one place you can definitely get them in Magnolia on the 30th.
Cape and Maker's Market.
Yeah.
Cape Ann Maker's Market.
Yeah, in West Gloucester at 1 Cumberland Drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Drive
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah, and,
I'll tell you why this is so good. I'm always out adventuring, and then
Oh, yes.
I have to go to a public restroom, and I don't want to use the bad soap because it
Yep.
gives me rashes. And this is so amazing.
Yeah, and it's easy to
and
travel with.
Right, and then you just put it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's wet. You can just put
Kim,
it
can I
right
see
back
that?
in here.
You can
Yeah.
break off a little piece just to wash your hands, or you can do a whole shower.
Yeah.
So far we've been hearing from people about where they've traveled. So they've been to Costa Rica,
Oh yeah, that's nice.
France.
Isn't that nice?
I like the peppermint
people
one.
are writing to us saying all of the places that they've traveled with the pocket soap.
I like this a lot. Thank you.
Yeah,
I like the one with the
I was gonna
peppermint.
say the spoon butter in the jar.
That
is-
really smells delicious.
This is kind of cool.
Go ahead because you make that one.
So this is a wood conditioner,
Right.
and it's not made with. There's no mineral oils in it, so there's no petroleum-based oils. in
No
it.
beeswax?
And there's beeswax.
Right.
And there's also no nut oils because a lot of people will.
Allergic.
Allergic to nut.
Yeah. Like my son's girlfriend has a severe peanut.
You have a son
peanut.
that is old enough to have a girlfriend?
I have a son that's 30.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. That's like a whole other show. But so it's all natural, really simple ingredients. We don't put anything artificial in
It
anything.
says MSG here.
It might be a typo.
And you
I'm
rub
so- oh,
that.
no, no,
what
it
do you
doesn't
use
say
that
it.
for?
My
So you
glasses.
rub that into.
So that's for like wood spoons, cutting boards, butcher block.
How about this desk? I can do something.
Yeah.
It's like a nut balm.
Do you know
This desk
John
needs
Bell?
a match.
John Bell?
Yeah.
He has a Canon, apparently,
Really?
and he has this wooden.
He's got a wooden.
He has
Jeez.
he has this wooden stand that is Canon.
See how she's talking about John Bell's cannon? She's like, John Bell has a
I'm
cannon.
gonna have to do a disclaimer now.
I feel bad for John Bell.
Anyway.
Does John Bell's wife know that you know about John Bell's cannon?
He uses his stuff
There really
on a
should be
stand that
waivers
is
if we all
Canon.
sign upon
Oh,
walking
okay.
inside.
And he like raves about it. So people are using it on different things. Other
The
than
hand
the
is
wooden
this
spoon.
can't get over.
Joey Foot has joined us and says hello to everyone.
Hey, Joey Foot.
And he says, "Are you passing the basket around for donations?"
It's collection.
Sure. Yes.
Because
It is
Chris
Sunday in
Chris
church.
is late for he missed his communion last week.
It's Sunday in church. It's okay.
Oh, what is it? What were you? Confession.
Confession.
Yeah.
Chris always takes money out of the basket when it goes in front of him. Puts it in it.
Did you,
Paula Ryan O'Brien
did you
says
show
great
this one?
gift.
Kim's got her sweaty paws all over the baskets.
I know.
Don't get your makeup on it. You're gonna stain them.
Well.
These are really fun. These
If I got
every
some
one of the
lipstick
products
on it,
that you've displayed right here
Yeah.
are not janky like craft people things. They're all like
Yeah. No.
awesome, like over the top, great stuff.
So I wanted.
Because sometimes you go to craft fairs and everything's like
Yeah.
crappy.
Oh, yeah, and we'll be at the Essex Climb Fest too.
Oh yeah.
What is
that's
that?
the next.
Does
event
this
that we're
say
doing.
$12 for this?
Yeah, they are.
Ralph, take
How can you?
I think you need to charge more money for that.
Okay, we'll charge.
I'm gonna take a picture.
I'm just telling you. I mean, if you want to make money,
Yeah,
because your time is
I paid
worth
20
money.
bucks.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a good
I'm
price.
gonna buy that one.
We're working.
Unless you're buying it from Chinese sweatshops, and for $3, and in that case, sell them for
Wow.
$12. But
We actually get the rope for the white ones from R&W Rope in New Bedford. Those are good guys. I wanted to point out though 2 new soaps that we're introducing because we started out with just the
breaking news.
the pure yeah. One of them is the Seafarer bar.
That's the one I like.
That's
And
over there.
that one is made out of Atlantic Ocean water. So
wow.
it's a brine
Ralph.
soap.
Good Harbor.
Really?
No,
Or the back-
no,
not
from
Good
the back
Harbor.
shore. So yeah,
That's Ralph lives right in front of there. I live one street back.
it's a really great soap.
What are you doing, about? What is he doing?
Taking a advertising picture. I want to show this to my wife. She loves
That's
this
awesome.
stuff. This sort of stuff.
So the benefit of the brine soap too is that if you're a boater, you can actually bathe in salt water with it because it'll suds and lather in salt water.
We gotta get rid of Tom.
Oh,
Sorry, Tom.
And it's okay for the
We
environment.
tested it.
Yeah.
We tested it down at Brown's.
Which one?
The-
Which one?
The Seafarer.
The Seafarer.
It's a brine soap.
Brian said.
And then the other new soap that we have is the Galley soap, which is a pure olive oil Castile soap, and it's really great for people that have to wash their hands all the time, like chefs.
What a beautiful
because it
holiday gift this
moisturizes
would make.
chefs.
With the basket and the soaps in it.
These are fantastic Christmas presents.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
really.
Paul Rhino
So
Brand
we'll be
Holy
having some
Breeze.
gift baskets
Great
ready
gifts.
for the
Oh,
holidays.
You do, and these are all at Last Stop or on and also
Well,
as
the
well
baskets
as online.
aren't, but they.
Yeah, this right now we're not selling the baskets in stores. We're just selling them through us,
Okay.
and we'll have them in stores after the new year because we're saving them for the fairs.
Joy,
Holdfasthandcrafts.com.
I sent you a nice little picture.
But these can all be purchased
you.
on
For,
everything we've just
perfect for the
seen
show
can
notes.
all be purchased online.
Yes.
Online, yep, and with the exception of the baskets, either in the Cave, the Last Stop in Gloucester, or Lula's Pantry in Rockport.
But the baskets are online.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going shopping.
Or
She's
if you go to our website, there's an event link, and we have 7 events lined up between
Okay.
now and Christmas.
You guys
So-
are busy. Wow.
Yeah. So we'll have them at the events.
We'll sleep after the first of the year.
Yeah.
And as a result of last week's show, I actually shared your link with my mother. One of you may have received an email from her, Janice McCarthy.
Okay.
So she's trying to get into
The show? Oh, fantastic.
Coming up.
So
She-
today is the last day that we're
Yeah.
accepting applications for vendors for the Cape Ann Makers Market. So if you haven't done it, do it now. Get it in. And we'll be running through those in the next couple of days and making announcements about which vendors are actually going to be in the show. We have like over 30 vendor applications.
Mhm.
So we're really excited. It'll be a really nice show.
Yeah. So.
And hoping to make that an ongoing, regular experience.
Yeah, that's great.
Pop up.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys for coming in.
Well, thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. And I'm going to put a show notes to be able to buy things directly from you guys.
Yes. Perfect.
So we get that.
And
I'm
come
excited.
to the Clam Fest.
Yeah.
Come to the Clam Fest?
We'll be
Yeah,
at the
when's-
Clam Fest.
when's
Is that
the Clam
today or
Fest?
is that
No,
next
that's
month?
not until the
2 weeks?
26th.
Oh, I gotta put that in my cat. Clam
20
Fest.
something.
I'm going to
The
that.
Essex Clam
2
Fest.
weeks from today. 2 weeks.
The
I think
chamber,
that's
the
it,
thing
yeah.
the chamber house.
So
Yeah.
the 27th? 27th?
I think
Is
it's
that
a
the
Saturday.
Saturday?
So it'll be
The people,
26th.
the people who win
The
for
Clam
best
Fest?
clam,
We don't even
for
know
best
that.
clam chowder,
Yeah.
see a huge spike up in their chowder sales.
Chowder
Oh, yeah.
sales. So
People like freak out about it. It's like a
Maybe
huge
we'll
prestigious
participate.
thing.
who won last year? Do you know?
No?
I don't know.
Anybody
Who do you
part of
think's
the
gonna win?
Serenity?
I think anyone from Serenity. Maybe 51.
I don't know.
Oh, we going?
One of us, one of the two
It's on a
of us.
Saturday.
If we don't have the children's,
We should,
Who do you think should win?
You take
What's
a
your
bet.
favorite?
You
I
should
don't know.
enter.
I have
Yeah.
to say,
Start
like my
making up
favorite
with that.
all-time chowder in Essex has always been periwinkles, and
I
they're
know.
not there anymore.
That's why I
They're not
asked.
there anymore.
It's
Yeah.
unique.
I was always
This-
partial to the
a
village.
little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have good
That's
chowder.
Wayne's favorite, I think.
So my
When
favorite
Mile
chowder
Walker
is the
won one
thinner
time, that was
kind.
great.
You know what I mean? That's
I like the creamy one. Yeah.
the thick. You like the thick one?
Don't even go there.
No.
I like the thing.
I like-
Oh,
I like
Jesus.
I like any kind of clam chowder. I like both New England
and the thicker one.
and Manhattan. I like Manhattan too.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking dirty. Oh my God!
I'm way ahead of you.
I literally wasn't even thinking dirty. It took me like 30 seconds to catch up with you, filthy animals.
You filthy
I
animal.
got
I
it. I
can't.
got
I
it.
can't.
You should be very proud of yourself, aren't you? Nicole
I skipped
Shaft.
church for this today.
Nicole Shaft is just shaking her head over it.
Joey, Judy, Middle Miss says hello.
Judy, say hi, Judy.
Judy says hello, and
You guys
Charlene McCarthy
you guys
says
fight
hi.
over
Oh, you can fight over this?
Charlene sees me.
Thanks. Yeah, you guys can fight over those.
Oh, good, because I'm taking.
I want the. I
So
want.
close
I
to
want
my
this
wife.
one.
Can I have the mini one? Can I
You
have
want
the
this one?
No, not that one.
Which
This
one
one?
can I
Yes, that
use in the
one.
water?
Does anybody
Okay,
else
the
want
one
that?
that Joey
I don't-
has. You'll have to fight him. You can break it in half.
I don't know which one I want here.
This is what happens.
Or you can come to Essex. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a lotion.
That's
That's a
right.
hard lotion bar.
They fight like seagulls on the French
You
one.
don't use water with
To
it.
go and figure out.
Yeah,
Which one is
very
green?
good.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then
So,
Yeah.
all right, everybody, focus, focus,
I like
focus.
both. But Jimmy's telling
Is this
everybody to
new?
bring their items so we can fight over them.
Which one's 11? Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Why,
too.
why is it used?
I'm taking 11.
All right, we gotta bring it in. Focus.
Deanna has it at her house. It's probably just what,
Focusing.
So we also have.
We have to test every one of them.
Is this edible?
You have to leave.
Yes, I'm-
Thank you for coming.
Oh.
No, thank you.
Thank you for
having us. Yeah,
thanks-
thank you very much.
Thanks for leaving goodies with us.
Enjoy.
Enjoy them
Our
all.
favorite guests, the guests that get the most amount of time, are the ones that feed us.
Let us
Or
feedback.
clean us.
Let us know what you think.
No, I mean, and you know,
Yeah,
like
don't
this
eat
kind
it.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you could eat it.
I already know I love
Your
this. It's in
favorite
my
right
purse,
now
ready to
until
go.
That's
Zach
like
comes back with the
fantastic.
chicken
Even
and
for
waffles in an
traveling.
hour.
It's just on a trip for the week and
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
It's
fantastic. It is. It's
All right,
really
all right,
awesome.
all right.
Like,
All right.
Okay.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
All right,
Order.
thanks. Good seeing you guys.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Be
Bye.
well.
Thank you.
See ya.
Zach, take care. Thanks for coming, Zach.
Nice seeing you guys.
See you guys.
Bye, Zach. Take care.
I love our
See you
guests.
soon.
We have the best
We
guests.
have the best.
We do.
We have the best guests. All right. That's good.
This is a
Everybody's
little
looking at your Gulu right now.
This is a little off topic.
Good for them.
Good.
We love presents. I have to tell you something funny.
Taking
Charlotte
his soap
said to
home
me.
to my wife.
So Charlotte said,
So Charlotte says, Mimi, I have a good idea. Why don't you get a box and put a surprise in it for me so I can have a present?
smart kid.
I have a good idea. That's what
Smart kid. I love it.
It's a great idea.
Very nice.
Okay.
John Nelson is here to talk about his bird book. And what's it called? Flight Calls. Hey, Jimmy, hold it up for Jim. Jimmy,
Do you
hold it up.
make bird sounds? Can you make bird sounds?
No, I suck at imitating birds.
Well, you got to give us at least one of your best bird poems.
We got to hear one.
Actually, bird people think they're nuts, but to kind of scare up songbirds, they'll pish. They'll go.
Pish.
Psh, 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 psh.
And what is
Oh,
that?
that's an easy one.
I'd start with the
That's an
whippoorwill.
easy one.
What is
I'm not a bird mimic. No, that'll. There you go.
Like that.
I can't.
That's
I
a
can't
pterodactyl.
match that. I can't match that.
How about
I'm pretty sure it's anything.
So what is that supposed to be imitating?
I used to have a crow that lived behind me.
I
So
like that.
fishing doesn't
Every day.
really imitate
That
anything.
little
It
crack.
just it's some birds
It's about
respond to
lavender
it.
soap.
They think something's happening. They'll kind of come out and look around. So. But
Oh, so does that what a predator bird will do to get the little unsuspecting birds to come out so they can eat them? Like the raptor?
They're going to now
Not
that they're
really,
listening
but
to the
there
show.
are. I really can't mimic, but there are people who can imitate screech owls. So birds
I've
will
seen-
come out because that is a predator.
I've
So
seen
they'll
that when
check
I've been
it out and they'll
photographing.
kind of mob together and try and scare it off.
I've
So
seen people with a recording of a screech owl.
some people
And
are
so
great
they-
mimics.
Right, they'll replay the recording of the screech owl to bring the birds out. So.
We actually, my wife and I went to Bhutan, and our guide had played this little flute that sounded like an owl. Birds would all little
Gather
soft
round
birds
as the
would
bird
sound
whisperer?
Right, but I'm not one.
What place did you go to?
Bhutan
Where is that?
in Asia,
In Asia?
near Tibet, Nepal,
Really?
beautiful country.
How's the food?
Hot.
Spicy?
If you like extreme spice. So
What's that say?
It's a screech owl.
Having
That's
sex.
a screech owl.
An owl having sex.
So my book is thanks for inviting me here and announcing my book on Good Morning Gloucester. So,
Well, so what happens is this: I have the main email is mine, and we have different people with different kind of specialties. Right? So Kim does a lot of the. She's known as the foremost bird authority in Cape Ann more likely the Northeast region. So we defer all the bird things to her.
Okay.
So she edited and placed your announcement.
Yeah.
So the credit goes with her.
Yeah, well, it
Thanks.
looked so wonderful. The bird, because it's so
But you should
cool.
feel honored because normally she
Here he goes. Don't listen to this.
So normally what she'll do with people that compete with her on her bird knowledge is she'll stifle them and destroy them.
Step on them.
And so when you go to sleep tonight, if your wife sees a green or a red dot on your forehead with the laser beam, that means she's got you in her sights. And she got the sniper rifle out. She's gonna take you out.
I'll take that to heart. I'm a careful person.
Okay. All right.
Tell us more about the book because it's just filled with history and it's just wonderful.
Each chapter kind of stands by itself. Some have been revisions of things published earlier in either Bird or literary magazine. So it's a mix of my experiences looking for birds. It's kind of a tour around the state. It's got birds in literature. The last section focuses on conservation.
That's great.
It's got, I think, a lot of humor in it, but it's always risky to say you think you're a funny guy. But I'm realizing today it doesn't have any penis jokes. I don't know what
Joe won't be buying the book then.
What was I thinking? But, I actually did.
It's also bird humor, which bird.
Well, the bird's got the cloaca. They rub the cloaca together, and the magic dust comes out, and then little baby birds come.
A couple of years ago, I won a pushcart literary prize for an essay called "Funny Bird Sex," and that's got all sorts of sex and penises.
Really?
Sounds like a bestseller to me.
Post that.
Yes, it's coming back next week. Is that
It's not in this.
You gotta know your audience, buddy.
We gotta post
You gotta know
that.
your audience.
Check it out.
Where can we find
Next
that?
Sunday.
Where can we find Funny Bird Sex?
It was in the Antioch Review. So I don't know.
We'll just Google
Joe,
it.
pull it up.
Yeah, you'll find something.
Funny bird sex.
Funny bird sex.
So this,
Chris
my
is gonna
book
cancel
has, I live in West Gloucester, so it's got a strong Gloucester Cape Ann influence. One chapter is called Birding a Patch, which is a term birders use for just an area you kind of keep coming back to, so you know it very well, and it's usually your own neighborhood. So for me, that's West Gloucester, Wingersheet, Coffin.
Don't
Beach,
give away the
Essex
coordinates.
Bay,
I'm just warning you.
I found it.
Thompson Street Reservation. So one chapter's about that. It's kind of the birds there. Description of the place, its history, cultural history, natural history.
That's
and
awesome.
then there's another chapter that's Cape Ann's a popular place for birders to come in winter for seabirds. I lead trips for the Brookline Bird Club, which actually covers all of Eastern Mass, and the Essex County Ornithological Club. So it kind of tours. There's this sort of standard route that birders take on winter trips, which is meet at the Man at the Wheel, Fish Pier, Eastern Point, Back Shore,
Halibut Point. Has to be
Hammers
there.
Point, Cathedral Edge. So we kind of tour all those places. And then when it links the birds there to painters, like Winslow Homer, Fitzhenry Lane, and writers who've written about birds in Cape Ann, anywhere from John Smith, who explored in the early 1600s, to T.S. Eliot, who spent summers here, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Charles Olson. So those chapters
All
are
these
completely
chapters are
about
in there?
Cape
Wow.
Ann.
Wow.
So it's got a
What a
strong
wonderful
local,
read.
and I think it's it's not aimed at just hardcore fanatical birders. It's aimed at anybody with some interest in birds.
And listen some natural history of Cape Ann, right?
It does,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you've been in this for a while. What would you say? What are your observations in terms of the bird population around Cape Ann? What are you seeing more of?
Well,
what kind of changes
The
are you
herons.
seeing?
The whole last chapter is about kind of the future prospects of birds in Massachusetts, not just Cape Ann, but Mass Audubon has put out 3 State of the Birds reports in the last 6 years or so. I mean, overall picture is not good. anywhere. I mean, there was just a
Where's
big
that?
report about a huge decline of
Like a
birds
third of the
across
birds
the country.
across the country since.
Yeah, but over here, and I've noticed. So I've been here since I was a kid. I've noticed a tremendous uptick in birds that I never saw before. Like the egrets, we never saw an egret growing up. Now they're in every pond is an egret.
So I
Yeah, it's it depends on the bird. Like they're egrets, little blue herons. Those birds were killed in huge numbers for the plume trade.
The osprey,
which decimated them, and then they came back. Birds like ospreys and peregrine falcons declined because of pesticide use, and there is still a lot of pesticide use, but with some control of that. Now we have ospreys nesting commonly around here. We have peregrine falcons on City Hall.
Also, the
in
waterways
winter.
are cleaner, don't you think? I think that has
Right.
a lot to do with why they egrets.
So
and the
some
herons
birds are
and that.
doing well. Other birds, like there's whippoorwills on the cover. Whippoorwills are declining throughout the range in eastern Massachusetts because they're losing habitat. There's been a decline in insects that they eat for reasons that aren't fully understood. Some birds, it's not always easy to correlate climate change, but there's a bird that the salt marsh sparrow, which breeds only in salt marshes in the Northeast. I talked to a conservation biologist in Mass Audubon. He said that's, if you're going to pick a bird that's common here, that's probably not going to make it much longer because if sea level rises,
that's their habitat.
they're going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
They only breed in salt marshes. So some birds can adapt to people. Some birds can adapt to the lights in cities. They can adapt to the noises in cities. Other birds can't. So it's hard. I'd say the Mass Audubon report about two-thirds of the birds in the state are declining at least somewhat. Others are thriving. So
how can we get rid of the crows? The crows are bad. They wake me up in the morning around 6.
my wife
Sleep
has.
somewhere else.
My wife
They
has.
should sleep They should sleep someplace else. I'm not sleeping someplace else. I'm the human being.
Human being.
Survival of the fittest.
My wife wants to take out the crows.
You can coexist.
She wants to take them
got
out.
a section on that about crows because crows.
Oh, really?
Are like if you.
They're an invasive
mess with
species.
a crow, they'll remember.
They're an invasive species.
No, they aren't.
They're coming in like
In Jewish yard, they are.
No, you are wrong. It is.
Have you been to Stone's Pub in the middle of the night? If you park underneath the tree in the parking lot at Stone's Pub, the crows come in there and at night.
Are they still
Jamie, when he was working at Stone's, he took a picture. He parked his car overnight one night. It's a navy blue car. You thought it was a white car the next day with all the crow shit.
Across from Elder Point.
Seagulls have a lot to do with that, Joe.
No, this is the whole tree was filled in with crows.
Don't park under the tree. You probably don't want to live where there's a crow roost. I'll grant you that.
A crow.
Yeah, but how do you take them out?
You can't.
What do you mean you can't?
Well, you can.
Can you shoot them?
There's
Is it legit to shoot a crow?
No.
No,
There actually is I shouldn't say this, but there is a website that's called Crowbusters that is
There you go.
fanatically dedicated toward
Breaking
getting rid
news.
of crows. But they're protected by
Crowbusters.
the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. So
The only crow that I like is the crow's nest. That's the only crow that can stick around.
They're pretty smart, crows are. But if you live near where somebody is feeding them regularly, you are going to have.
That's
a
my
problem.
neighbor.
Yeah, that's my neighbor too. So.
I do have one quick question. I know Kim works on films and articles and stuff, and Chris is writing his memoirs. That's taking forever. How long has it taken you to write a book, like with the flight calls and everything? How long did it take you? What gave you the idea that you needed to do that?
well, I actually came to birding late. I mean, until I was about 50, I played sports. Pretty much most of the people I knew in Cape Ann were basketball players and football players, and then my body betrayed me part by part. So I started having a lot of orthopedic surgery, so I started bicycling for exercise and saw some amazing birds, like right near home. That, like, I felt like I'd never been paying attention to what was here. So, and then, you know, I was an English professor and I'd done some writing. So I started writing. I wrote an essay about birds, kind of a story, I don't know, 15 years ago. First in birding magazines, and then I found there's a market for bird essays in literary magazines. So, so half of them are from that, and then eventually I decided I tried to just sell a collection of stuff I published already, and it's hard to publish collections. But they said if U of Mass Press said if you focus it on Massachusetts, this book is part of a line of regional books about New England. So that's what led to this book.
So how do you handle? Because I know how Kim starts to vibrate if she hears something that is contradictory to what her real life observations are. So when you no, because he mentioned this. He mentioned that some of his things are correcting published things that he observed as wrong, right?
Did you mention that? I didn't hear him say that.
I thought you said that you
some of the chapters you revised.
No. I thought you had mentioned that you had written about your observations about some type of birds or something.
Well,
Unless I misunderstood.
I mean, sometimes it's not really, the book doesn't focus on correcting misinformation that's out there. And some of it, is about humor at my expense. I mean, it's common for people to misidentify birds. I write a little about that. I mean, it can get touchy. Egos get involved. So, I'm reluctant to if somebody says I saw such and such, and I'm skeptical, I might say why I'm skeptical, but I'm not going to say no.
No, you didn't.
You did not see that bird. Yeah. There's a little story actually. It was about Brace Cove. This guy who was sort of a novice birder said he saw some sparrows there, and I had just been there and seen the sparrows. He was reporting only like salt marsh. I'm pretty sure he misidentified them. Yeah. And I tried to kindly, I didn't say he was wrong, I just said, might have been these instead. And I don't think he took it well.
They never do, trust me. They never take it well.
There's a listserv called Mass Bird, which is bird reports for birders, and he never posted anything after that. I felt
you might as well
this is what happens.
He was wrong. I mean, you danced around the issue, but I think the message was clear that he was wrong.
He was a bum.
He was a bum.
He was a bum bird. He was a bum bird watcher.
He doesn't know his birds because he didn't read your book, Flight Calls.
Right. Or go to any of Kim's lectures.
I was kind about it, and I did it privately. I didn't do it. If you think somebody
you didn't correct them on a podcast and make them and totally emasculate them and
or go to the Gloucester Times and publish an editorial.
See in the bird one.
You should go to the Gloucester Times and publish an editorial when you tell somebody they're wrong.
Joe, where you going?
I got Captain Joe.
Gonna take he's taking bird orders. Joe is now selling birds.
What's your favorite bird that you love to watch? Do you have one?
It's hard to pick out a favorite, but one bird I write about is that birders talk about spark birds, like a bird that really captured their imagination, and one of them is glossy ibis. Which are really beautiful birds, and I just, they're this iridescent red and green. They got these long bills. They're pretty common in marshes here in breeding season. And that was one of I'm just bicycling along. I saw this bird, and I thought, this bird's got like a long sacred tradition in Africa or one of its relatives, and I thought, this is just astonishing.
They're big too. You've seen pictures of them, right? Yeah, they're over in Westcott. There are a lot over in Westcott.
They're in marshes, and I think part of what I write about is that once you get into birds, and it could be other things too, you start listening. Most of birding is done by ear, and it's like you're attuned to the world in a way that you weren't before. You're sort of just alert for whatever sounds, so it kind of brings you alive in your environment in a way that I wasn't.
Do you have a good website that you go to for like well, you probably know all this, but like if you hear a bird sound and you don't want to hear like hundreds, like specifically to Massachusetts, like bird calls specific to Massachusetts.
Yeah, GMG is.
Well, there's a lot of apps and things for bird songs. I think the best one isn't specific. Is the Macaulay Library, which is through Cornell, which is a huge library, not just of bird sounds, but other animal sounds. So if you hear a sound,
you can
match it up.
You can match it up.
And it's
or if you want to know what a bird sounds like, you can put in the species and find that.
What's your favorite local bird?
We just asked that.
You missed it,
We
Joe.
just asked that.
I missed it. Oh, what was the question?
Yeah,
he said a crow.
He said
glossy ibis.
Glossy ibis.
Glossy ibis?
Yeah, glossy
Right.
ibis. Yeah.
Mine's the black crowned night heron.
Is it true that when a bird poops on you, it's good luck?
I try to avoid this.
Is there any factual evidence behind this?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I've never had good luck when a bird has pooped on me. I just was curious.
I don't seek it out.
You don't seek it out?
Had a bad day. You want to go to the wharf and
Which bird takes
stand there.
Oh.
Do you have a website?
I don't have a website.
Really? That's interesting.
So where can we get the book? Then where can people order?
There actually is I'm trying to make sure I've got the number right, but there is a code. It's S735, which will give you a 30% discount if you get it directly from the University of Massachusetts Press.
So are you recommending that people go to the University of Massachusetts?
Well,
Press
that's one way to get it. There's
is it-
also copies at the bookstore,
At the bookstore
in
in
Gloucester,
Okay.
and I'm working on getting it in other stores.
Okay.
So I think
So
if
can
you
people
want to
can
shop locally, you can definitely
get it at the bookstore.
bookstore.
And
Or
can
I
you
put that
repeat-
in the show
And
notes.
can you repeat the code? Did you get it? The S.
The code is S735, which is 30% if you get it directly from the U of Mass Press.
Yeah, but we wanted to get it through.
Oh, okay.
I
So
have
the
no
bookstore.
preference, and I am setting up presentations.
Well, let us know. Send us an email, and then we can post when you have your.
Yeah.
talks
I
coming
will.
up.
A lot of them are going to be in the spring, but definitely.
That's great.
And I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for
in.
having me here.
Did you put the picture of the book in front of
Yes,
that?
I did.
Okay, great. We got that going.
Thanks a lot.
Nicole's with us, and we love it when Nicole comes. She doesn't come often enough, but she does have her duties with her children,
boys.
who are
Awesome boys.
awesome. They get so much going on.
Busy kids.
They're role models at their young ages. They're role models. Tell me, it's fall now. We've kind of gone into fall, and Nicole does our things that family fun weekly event post on Thursdays. What are some of the obligatory, if you don't do this, you're a bad parent things that you should do with your kids this time of year?
You know, it's funny. Somebody I know from where the kids do their sailing lessons down at Sandy Bay Yacht Club. We were at a regatta this summer together, and she heard somebody asking me a question. She's like, "Oh, you write for Good Morning Gloucester?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do sometimes." And she's like, "Oh, they live in New York or Connecticut." She's like, "I read those. Her kids are a little bit older." And she's like, "How do you fit all that in?" And I said, I can't do 10% of what I write about anymore. I'm in a hockey rink every day, so I don't know. I'm not. I like to seek out things for other people to do, but I don't get to do. And we love hockey. I'm not complaining, but we spend a lot of time in hockey rinks and away on weekends. But it's funny. This weekend I didn't do my thing because everything was canceled. Plum Island was supposed to have a great, what they call it, Jetober, where they have all the remote controlled, but the big jets that they take off all weekend long up at Plum Island. So our plan was to go up there and have a couple pumpkin ales and watch the jets take off, but they canceled that because of the weather and
Your
a
kids
couple other
drink?
things.
Your kids drink?
No, except for at the Elks. No, they don't. But yeah, a lot was canceled this weekend, and we haven't even fit in the fair yet. But I asked earlier. Charlene Delaney was at not the businesswoman's luncheon that we were at together, but at the Gloucester House $25,000 game.
Yeah, we were there.
Chamber
I didn't
thing.
see you though. You said you saw me. I
texted
didn't see you though.
Yeah.
We saw her at the bar.
Did I see her?
No, you came in a little late, but
He was on the phone though, because I think you were giving him a hard time about.
Oh yeah, because he had the number.
Video. Yeah.
You had the freaking number.
Oh, right. We were trying to figure that out.
But she won a family 4-pack to the Topsfield Fair and was kind enough to give them to me because she knew that we would go. So we're going to do that tomorrow. So thank you to Charlene. But that's it. Yeah, all sorts of fall stuff and apple picking and great orchards. I always shout out every fall when we're talking about where to go. We go to Apple Crest up in New Hampshire, which is our favorite. Yeah, which is our favorite orchard. But I always ask people to write in and tell us where their favorite orchard is, and no one never really does. But I would like them to do that because we always
go to
find a new
Russell
one.
Orchards all the time.
Yeah, we love Russell too
because it's so close. It's just 20 minutes
Cool.
away.
I think you should post the events of each week that you're planning on, like attending, so that others like us could follow you. That sounds like you're really in tune.
Events?
Yeah.
My own events don't necessarily line up with the kids' picks for the weekends anymore.
No, they sound like.
Kim, what kind of apples are the best for apple pie?
For apple pie, I like to use a combination, and I always have about half the amount Granny Smith. You falling asleep.
I use Cortland.
You don't know what happened to me yesterday. Do you want to hear what happened to me yesterday?
Okay, wait.
So I had my daughter Madeline had speaking of traveling with kids and sports. Madeline had a soccer tournament in down the end of the Cape.
Where?
So,
oh my God, like the far
at the end of the Cape.
Not the very tip, but three quarters of the way down.
Gosh, wow.
So
that is a very long drive.
we drove down. It took us 4.25 hours to get down there, and the game was. We got there a little bit early because I didn't know how long it was going to take. We got there a couple hours early. We went for lunch. It was lovely, and it was great spending time with Madeline. The game starts. The fields were so muddy, and there was puddles like this deep with the fields, and the turf was all uneven. Within 10 minutes of the game starting, she hyperextended her knee, so she couldn't play. No. And it was raining, not really raining, but misty, sideways, windy mist, just coating you, freezing. And I drove all this way to not watch my daughter play. Wow. And then there was a party planned afterwards for the team that I didn't want her to miss because she really wanted to go and hang out with her friends. So I didn't go home till 11:30 last night, and I had to get up at 3 this morning. So I'm sorry if I'm like I'm like out to lunch today.
Yeah, we were gonna say, Joe, you seem off today.
I had now my stomach is a mess because I had a large tea, 3 cups of coffee, and 2 energy drinks because I couldn't risk falling asleep with my daughter in the car on the way home and dying.
And 6 muffins today. This morning.
I'm trying. Well, the reason I'm eating all these carbs is I'm trying to sop up all the nastiness that's in my belly.
Right. That's a good excuse.
Have you had any eggs? Because the protein will
some
have
eggs. Is that the key? Oh, if I knew. I just didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do a lot of farts.
No, eggs will.
The egg farts.
Yeah.
Eggs will really help.
Well, and you got to be careful because sometimes those farts sneak up on you.
I didn't want to have
they're not a real fart.
Yeah, it's a shart.
Yeah, it's a shart.
You know what?
You need some protein.
Because I can't get away from the dock to go change my underwear if we have an accident.
No.
You should always keep a spare.
You need some protein.
I do need some. Well, I have some steak tips. I'm going to celebrate Jimmy's birthday. I always like to cook for Jimmy on Sundays in football season.
That's going to take a little while to cook.
Steak tips?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes. Steak tips.
I'm going to tell you that we have Frank McCall is on. McCall! And that's why we have burgers here. Watching GMG from Front Beach while waiting for a seat at Nate's.
Oh, yeah.
Nate's.
There you go.
It's Nate's.
Nate's is another breakfast place.
Yeah, good place.
Really?
Oh, so
Where?
Nicole,
Where's Nate's?
Do you go there?
Naples?
I've never been there.
No, in
Nate's
Front
on
Beach and
Front
Naples.
Rockport.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is just
One of the
little,
600
it's hard to,
breakfast
little.
places
There's
we
not
have
a lot of
up
seating
in
there,
there.
but it's a good place.
Yeah.
We've been there maybe 3 times.
Rockport has so they have so now they have brackets.
Yep.
They have the brackets donut
Brothers
shop,
Brew, yeah.
right? Brothers Brew. You have the Red Skiff. Are they still open?
Yeah, but it's not called the Red Skiff anymore. Is it called the Red Skiff?
Really? You don't know that? And you live in Rockport?
The Blue Skiff.
And then there's the Blue Lobster place, right?
Yep.
That has a great breakfast.
That used to be the Greenery. Yes,
You
Blue Lobster,
can't, just so people know, you can't get full.
Can't get what?
You can't get full breakfast at Brothers Brew. It's like egg sandwiches.
And
Egg
donuts.
sandwiches.
Yeah,
That
but they're
blue
wonderful
lobster, that's where they have
donuts.
that dish that they bake in that cauldron there. You know
How
what
about
that's
the
called?
breakfast? Oh,
It's a fish stew.
Oh yeah, I
forget
forget
what they
Mick's
call it.
favorite restaurant there.
And then
Yeah, I used to
Blue
do some
Moon has a good
things. I
breakfast.
What are you talking about?
They make this dish and it comes out. Do you ever see those?
Bread bowl?
No, when you muddle.
Yeah, pesto.
Right, the pesto. And then
mortar and pesto.
it's heated up to like
Right.
ridiculous degrees, like 400 degrees, and they make this fish stew that you can have with haddock or different fish. And it starts with an M, but I don't know. It's the most delicious thing you've had. It's a Brazilian dish.
And
It's
where do you have this?
At the Blue
Blue
Lobster.
Lobster. We used to be
It is
eating here
absolutely
in Dog
lights
Square.
out.
They got a great
Fantastic.
views from there too.
Wow.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah,
so
I haven't
good.
been there for a while. The last time I ate there, I got chewed out by some of the Rockport retailers.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I do remember that well.
And now
yeah.
I haven't
What's it called?
spoken
Yeah.
about them since.
Yeah.
I was pimping them like weekly,
Right.
and they turned on me because I had the audacity to suggest that they should open before
little bit
10
early.
o'clock
Oh,
on a Saturday because I wanted to buy a Mother's Day present.
Yeah, let's not revisit that. But the Rockport Harvest Festival is next weekend, and that's always a good time.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can
Yes.
find that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that's fun.
That's really fun. They do a great that group and
yeah, that does.
that group we've been talking
Oh,
about
it's
them for a
right
couple of
here,
years,
yeah.
and actually some of the people that, but they really have they
It's a
take
good time,
that
for
to
sure.
a next level. The
They do.
different events that they do there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have like cooking demonstrations and the scarecrow hunt, which my kids always loved when they were smaller. You go around town and
Right there.
vote on your favorite scarecrow, but tons of music and performers and
Animals.
beer trucks and food trucks.
Yeah.
So
It's a worthwhile visit.
There's
It's
music
worthwhile.
everywhere. Yeah.
Cake.
It's a good
Speaking
time.
of good
Yeah,
breakfast,
Mukeka.
you know where you have to go before they close is one more time is the Atlantic.
The Atlantis.
The Atlantis.
The Atlantis.
With their little breakfast cafe.
We were there a couple days
Yeah.
ago.
Oh yeah, for Sunday brunch, it's wonderful.
So we identified the Atlantis as the best breakfast place in Gloucester that no one thinks to go to.
Go to, yeah.
And I ate
Did you have-
yesterday or 2 days ago at the best lunch place that no one thinks to go
Where's
to.
that? Where's that?
Sugar Mags.
Yeah.
Sugar Mags. Oh yeah.
I agree.
Sugar Mags,
I do
tremendous,
go there,
tremendous
so yeah,
lunch,
yeah.
but everybody just dismisses it out of hand because they just have it pigeonholed as a breakfast place.
Yeah,
Mm.
well,
But their
and
lunch is awesome.
Their lunches, their salads are amazing.
Salads, yeah.
Amazing. But have you had their lobster eggs Benedict
Ooh.
at the Atlantis? It's really.
That's
I haven't had it. I
It's
have to
really,
try it
really
now.
good. Oh my god, it's
Joe
so good.
had the crab
And
cakes last
they,
time.
They make the lobster.
Fish cakes.
They make
I mean,
the
fish
lobster.
cakes.
They cook.
They made the lobsters?
I mean, they cook the lobster
Did they breed
there.
them?
It's cooked and freshly shucked there. It's not like frozen lobster from somewhere else. They do it right
They're
there.
great. No, you can't find a fault in that
Oh,
place.
guess what they have at the Beauport? Crab and lobster cake, mixed crab and it's really good.
Wow. Crabs
Really
and lobster making love.
In a very loosely put together fish cake.
Really?
It's
So
so
not a lot of
delicious.
filler.
No filler.
That's what kills
no.
those.
Yeah,
I
that's
had-
what kills them. No, it was perfectly cooked. And guess what else they have there?
What?
Stop, Kim, with all this breaking news.
No,
Jesus
Kim,
Christ,
really?
Kim.
No, it's I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but it's the best fried clams I've had, and it
Really?
comes in this cone, right?
Really?
So after I'd eaten like about a third, I emptied the cone out on my plate, right? It was a mountain,
Really?
and I'd already eaten a third, and it was $18 for a whole belly fried clam.
Really?
$18?
$18.
No place in town does
Right.
that.
It was.
Okay, let's hear it.
It was at the Beauport.
Oh, at the Beauport.
This was at the Beauport, at the bar, for
All right,
dinner. I mean,
we're going.
I ordered 2 appetizers thinking that would equal like one dinner. Well, one would have been
More than ample.
What, especially the fried clams, was dinner.
Yeah.
That's
You know-
that's
you know
good
where
news.
Sean and I went
$18.
to the other night is Saltwater Grill at the Circle. We hadn't been there in a number of months because I don't know. We talked to Jack, the owner. We're like, sorry, we haven't been here in a couple months,
Right.
but that's more of our fall spot. But great food.
Great food.
Yeah, we had
I haven't been there yet.
chicken fingers. Really?
No?
We went.
Well, the chicken fingers are like to die for.
Really?
Buffalo chicken.
Buffalo chicken fingers. They're like the Tonka wings.
Yeah,
Ralph,
to
you
die.
want to segue into your theory?
I
about
don't know. I
fairy faces?
kind of like, this is just like, now it's the Kim Smith show. She just
all this
right
breaking
over.
news.
And
all
I
this
really have
breaking
nothing to say.
news.
Thank you. I'm going to leave now.
Yeah, I think Kim took something this morning. She's very talkative.
Well, she's got her bird guy here. So.
Oh, yeah.
She's put on a show for the bird guy.
So, I don't mean to offend anybody or any establishments in the city of Gloucester, but what are you doing?
He's reaching to take my diet medicine.
Don't take the blue one!
Oh, shit.
Now! Now we know where Bo gets it, right? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It's right here, Ralph.
You got an itch. So tell us the story. So Ralph's got a problem. No, Ralph's got a problem.
I'm sitting next to him. So the other night,
where's Jimmy?
He's on the floor.
Jimmy's on the floor dying.
Jimmy, I get off that floor.
So the other night after bowling, as you know, Chris and I bowl together in the league on
I
Thursday
don't bowl.
nights.
I would never do that silly thing. That's stupid.
He has the cutest little pink shoes. And he has
What is going on?
What's going on?
Jesus, what's in these muffins?
Oh, did you put some CBD?
Yeah.
Nicole, did you put the CBD in the muffins?
Whatever it takes.
And he has his adorable little bowling bag for his balls. So we go bowling on Thursday nights, and after Thursday night, sometimes we want to go out to grab a bite to eat. Or if there's a football game, usually there's a football game Thursday nights, or a hockey game. We want to go somewhere and watch a game and have a bite to eat after bowling. Now, we get out of bowling sometimes 8:30, 8:45, depending on
who doesn't show
up. But the problem is, there's really not a lot of places to go and watch the game and grab a bite. Most kitchens in Gloucester close at 9 to 9:30. That's a problem. Now, I know that there's a couple restaurants that do stay open.
The Franklin.
The
You
Franklin,
have to
which is
say that.
one of my favorite restaurants in the
Right,
city.
because we go there.
But it's not a place to watch the game.
Right, it's a good place to go after you see a play at Gloucester.
Yeah.
Right, it's fine.
But wait, what about the Gulfport? What time does their kitchen close?
Well, their bar closes. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 10 or 10:30.
Oh well, there you go.
This
A
one's
whole
not
hour.
bad.
That's all out.
But there's not, there's just not what I'm saying. There's not a lot of choices.
Is
A lot of people
there a
stay
place
open.
to watch the game at the boat? You can watch the
Yeah,
game at a
right
boat.
There's a bar there. They have actually, it's nice. They have a couch there, fireplaces.
Yeah,
It is
go
quite
there.
nice.
We can't walk in there with our bowling outfits on.
Yeah.
It's people are. I've seen everybody from all walks.
You haven't seen our bowling outfits.
Yeah.
They're paying.
They might ask us to turn over and walk away.
So Ralph, when is the? I thought Cape Ann Lanes is going to have their food.
Yes,
and
which
whatnot
that's
open very soon.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
mentioned that because
these
Cape Ann
problems
Lanes
with
is
the
opening up
cafe
their little brewery there
Yeah.
and their little restaurant.
And
We
we'll
can't
just
wait
stay
for
there.
that to open up.
That's
We will
right.
stay there.
Yeah,
Got a nice
Ralph
cheeseburger.
turned to me and said, "Now, if the bar was open here,
Yeah.
we could finish
Yep.
bowling and
We can't wait for that
make
to open.
10 steps."
And if they'll let me, I'll go in the kitchen and cook. If
There
they'll
you
allow
go.
me to.
There you go.
Caitlin
So-
was also at the businesswoman's luncheon, and she said that I think it's another 4 weeks. I think. Until
Another
that's
4 weeks
ready.
till it's open?
I think so.
Okay.
But that's
Yeah.
going to be phenomenal.
Yeah,
They do a
that
great
is
job
gonna
on
be-
that.
That's going to be fun.
That's
gonna
gonna be
gonna be
super
fun.
fun.
What are you
So
talking about?
Will you be able to? So after
The bowling alley is
will
opening
the
a
bowling
restaurant
alley
and
food
brew
still
pub.
be
Provided they don't close.
closed?
So now,
Provided they don't close the kitchen. at
so
9
now
o'clock.
when you have your children, you can take them bowling and still drink.
Yep.
And then you can take them to mile marker and have them swim, and you can still drink.
Yep.
And
It's a win-win for everyone.
it's we.
John, you taking off?
John's leaving us.
You just gone.
John's seen enough of
John's
this
gonna
bullshit.
go see some birds
Yeah,
fly.
I'm gonna go find some crows.
Yes. Yeah.
John, thank you for
Where's
coming.
the
Crow fighter.
I live in West Gloucester.
I'm gonna direct them to
Stanwood
you.
Point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything, John. We appreciate it.
So much for coming. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that was
Nice meeting you.
nice.
Meet y'all.
Good
I've
luck
never
with your
been
book.
so enthralled with birds.
Remember, if you see tell your wife to keep an eye out for and close the blinds so she can't get the
the red
dog.
dot.
Yeah, right. The laser.
The laser.
I mean,
And I hope
Thanks
you
again.
Have a great
enjoyed
day.
that muffin because I saw Kim put something
really
in it.
pooped on your
That was
shoulder,
the-
Chris.
The
Yeah,
book,
I'm already,
the bookstore of Gloucester. You can get his book.
Let's start Gloucester.
Okay.
So,
Take care.
speaking of bowling, we need 4 other couples, cool couples.
No,
We're
2
short.
couples, I think.
No, 4, because the 2 that were supposed to that I thought I had canceled out.
Tim and Laurie need a partner.
I know, and John and Jim need a partner.
That's 2 couples.
2 couples. Yeah, so 4 people total, not 4 couples.
Do you guys need a moment? We want a calculator.
Wait a
How can I
second.
help you?
Wait, what's the difference between 4 people and 2 couples? You keep going around in the
I
circle.
think he started saying 4 couples.
He said 4 couples.
I said 4 couples. I apologize.
That's 8.
That's 8.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
There's a calculator right there. Use it.
Yeah.
2 times 4 is 8.
You do both?
I do both. Thursdays
You gotta-
kind of tough with the hockey schedule, but I love to both.
You gotta come. You're in.
Now that they have
No, I'm
booze there,
serious.
Nicole will be
We're
waiting.
looking for fun people.
We're looking for fun people. We
Kids
need
aren't playing hockey anymore.
2 couples for the record. We're
2
looking
couples.
for 2 couples,
that
4
can-
people.
I would love to watch Freddie
That
Bowl.
doesn't-
That'd be funny.
That can put up with this kind of shit at bowling, because this type of shit that
Goes down.
that goes
And
down
Chris and
like
I
that.
are on the same team with
Yes.
our wives. We have a
Nice.
wonderful team.
Yes.
We have a lot of fun.
We
Oh,
do.
see, bowling's
Well,
fun, especially
fun.
there.
And you don't have to be good at all.
Clearly.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to be good.
It's more about the
I wasn't worried
The
about that.
camaraderie.
camaraderie. So there's so we got that in.
All right, Joe. We gotta
Chris
end this.
did. What do you mean you did?
You scared away a lot of people already.
Oh, I just want to mention a couple things.
This is like 6 hours.
I have
We're on
35
6
minutes.
Ralph went to the Bruins game, and we need a report on because there's been apparently huge
A
controversy.
lot of talk.
A lot of talk about the Bruins refigured their seating, and a lot of people aren't happy.
Yes.
So
a
what-
lot of people are not happy with the Boston Bruins.
What's your take?
Not the team itself, but the ownership.
For the-
So, as you know, I am a season ticket holder, and I have very nice seats. And my seats, fortunately, were not affected by the change. But the Bruins have added a lot of seats. In the balcony, they added approximately 500 more seats. And then they added a lot of seats up on the promenade, and then down below. The rows, if you had 16 seats in a row, and this is just an example, if you had 16 seats in a row, now you have 17 seats in a row. So basically the seats went from this to this.
As people are
The American public is growing in,
this way.
not only in population but in size. And you know, not just the Bruins organization, airlines are having the
Yeah.
same issues as well. There's a lot of problems with the airlines. But in any event, up in the upper sections of the building, the seats are literally, your knees are hitting the chair in front of you.
That sounds so uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. Now you're encroaching on the person in front of you, plus beside you.
Someone has to get by to go.
Someone
to
has
the
to get by. The
bathroom.
whole row has to get up and practically get out.
Yeah.
So the Bruins have acknowledged. I shouldn't say the Bruins. I want to retract that.
Yeah.
The TD
Delaware.
Bank Garden
Delaware North.
have acknowledged the situation, and they are looking into rectifying it. But there is a tremendous amount of displeasure from the general public.
Who wouldn't be unhappy?
If the team is winning, then
Well, people will
That-
squeeze in. So, listen, if the sacrifice is to have a great hockey team or basketball team, people have to sacrifice sitting there for 3 hours. I think the Boston public will. But if the teams start to suck, then you're going to see a lot of empty seats at TV.
And they're just going to rip out the seats.
So, but at concerts, the
After
same
that
thing.
game.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
concerts.
if you're over 6 feet, you're not sitting in those seats.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's very, very uncomfortable. I had some friends that just went to a concert up there. They sat up in the balcony, and they literally they were moving in every direction possible to try to be somewhat comfortable as they can. But the seats are nice. But
That sounds terrible.
yeah, so something needs to be done, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. But that's my
Kim
2 cents.
and Nicole both went to the Cape Ann Chamber Businesswoman Luncheon with Lindsay Krause.
Yes, we did. Wow, what an event that Carrie McKenna. I mean, it was just so beautifully organized and coordinated. It was at the Beaufort, so it was very elegant, and lunch was really, really delicious. What about that dessert?
It was good. Yeah,
Isn't that
I
amazing?
chose to stand because of where I was sitting at my table.
You could
I had turned. Well, yeah, it was just kind of. And I wanted to take one photo, so I stood up, and then I watched them handing out dessert, and I was like, oh, because I wasn't sitting down, so I didn't get one, but I had to bite somebody
Can you
else.
elaborate on the dessert?
Yeah, well, it was like a little cupcake thing, but it had like 2 layers of different kinds of fluffy frosting, and then
Yeah.
fresh fruit, and like a raspberry Kool-Aid.
Did you take a
over it.
picture?
No, I didn't.
Kim, you take pictures of a fly going by the
Well,
window.
you know,
You don't take a picture of the
If a fly had landed on the dessert,
They would have
it
sunk.
would have been
Yeah,
a photo.
or pretty dentist or something like that. Wouldn't that be awesome? I was sitting pretty close, and it would have been rude to like stop and take a picture of the dessert while the speaker was speaking. So I did not do that. But anyways, they do such a beautiful job there.
Yeah. Were there any men there?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
It was a
Yeah, like past chamber presidents and current chamber presidents.
Nice.
And
We want to make
Ken
sure
Real-
that
Ken Real was
men are
there
invited
before.
to those
Yes.
women events. Men are being excluded way too much from
we were like,
those women events.
at our table, we were like, how come all the men are sitting at that one table? How come they didn't spread them out in the room for all of us?
To make it look like there was more?
Or no, just because maybe some people wanted to have a man at their table.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Joe, you all right, Joe?
Dying.
Do you want to?
Joe's punched drunk.
I'm legit dying. I'm dying.
He
There
needs
was
to
a
take
moment
a
I thought
nap.
you were
wanna-
asleep.
Huh?
There was a moment I thought you were asleep.
The bird guy. I can't fucking stay awake for those bird things.
Oh, wait, do you see me looking at you? I was like, stop.
It's not intentional. I'm not trying to fall asleep.
I thought he was one of the more interesting
I'm
ones.
glad you mentioned why you were, falling asleep. That was, that's always nice for people to know that you.
Yeah, I know.
Rather than just fall
He
asleep
seems
on
like
people.
one of the.
At least you explain why you're falling asleep on
He
people.
seems like a nice guy.
Oh, he sounds-
He seems like a
The
really
best part
nice-
was when you were drooling and the drool was coming
No.
down the side of your
No,
mouth and
that
you had to
didn't
wipe it off.
Once again, we run the podcast while Joe either naps or takes care of.
I think we need to acknowledge Glenn. He's been sitting there quietly the
Glenn.
entire time.
Glenn, so Glenn, give us your observations of how we run this show and how can we improve?
He's
Okay.
He's a superintendent of the school, so he could probably tell you how to run.
Oh, well, the
I
grammar
stopped
is...
observing because I did it for like the last 5 years after summer retirement. So
The reason he hasn't said anything is because he's been sleeping for the past 20 minutes.
no, I've been.
He's been like, Jesus,
He's a,
I'm trying to get out
what
of
I
here.
failed to mention, he runs marathons. He's been in the Boston Marathon.
I see that.
Chicago, everyone. He's
Good for you.
big runner.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
That's great.
Doing all the stuff. He
We'll
wanted to run
we'll have
here.
to get
I
together.
drove. He
The
ran
only-
his car.
Glenn, the only place I run is to the bathroom after Chris makes lunch.
We'll have to get together because I've been in the last couple marathons. Yeah, we can trade together.
What
He stands by the
marathon?
sidelines
Can you
at the
tell me
hot
what
dog
marathon
stand
you
eating
ran?
hot dogs.
The drinking marathon.
Joey hot dogs there. What's his name?
Joey Bag of
Chestnuts.
Joey
Donuts.
Chestnuts.
Joey Chestnut.
Joey Bag of
With the
Donuts.
big bonza. All right, that's GloucesterCast 361.
Thank God.
It's in the
Jesus.
books. You got Chris has the music all lined up. I can
Always
see.
saying thanks for the math lesson, Chris, and hello to Glenn.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
And happy birthday to Jim.